you and I say this often, is that everyone needs a financial plan.
Correct.
But everyone doesn't necessarily need a financial planner, as long as they get the right information.
Right.
Right? So if I'm traveling to Minnesota, which I don't want to go right now because it's freezing cold and there's like 10 feet of snow. But if I did, you'd probably get a map. You know what I mean? You would probably map it out and figure out where you go. But with retirement planning, most people just say, all right, well, I'm 65, let's jump. I think I got enough money and let's do this.
Well, and you're right when you said most people don't have any idea, because we talk to people every day, every week, and it's like, do you know how much you need to save? And the answer is no. Let's look at what makes a good do-it-yourself planner. Number one is saving diligently and saving effectively. Some of us will save for a while, and then something comes up, emergencies, and then we stop saving, and then we forget to restart again. Those that are successful at this really have a long-term plan.
Well, yeah, without question. It's like, well, you know, I have to continue to save. If you don't continue to save, you're not going to get to your goals, right? So all of a sudden you get a windfall of cash, and there's something that's called lifestyle creep. You get a raise, you get a bonus, and we should be saving that, but what do? We end up spending it. It's like, wow, I got a little bit of windfall. You know what? Let's go on that vacation. Let's remodel that house. And you know what? I'm not going to hire a contractor. I'm going to do it myself and probably blow it up. Right? Looking at retirement, I mean, this is key. You need a plan, right?
You do, and then you also need a nest egg. And this a lot of people kind of miss this one. It's like you have to have an emergency fund. Another one, Joe, is keeping your debt under control. And when you're entering retirement, a lot of folks have mortgages, and that may or may not be okay. In some cases, it's okay. But a lot of folks have credit card debt, they have lines of credit, they have car loans, they still have student loans. That's not the best way to enter retirement.
You know, one of the biggest assets that most people have that they don't necessarily understand is their income. And so when they have debt, a lot of times what we do is we just focus on the debt. We pile all of our cash to our debt because I don't want to have any debt when I retire. But then the problem is that you don't necessarily have any liquid cash to create income. So you have to properly invest for your goals. So if my goal is retirement, is it putting my kids through school? Is it passing wealth to the next generation? You have to look at all of these things to make sure that you are doing things appropriately with that cash that's coming in. And then you have to have a sound backup plan, because everything in life does not go smoothly, I'm telling you, right? So if you're thinking that your plan is absolutely perfect, which it could be today, but guess what? Tomorrow the wheels might come totally off the bus, and what are you going to do? This sound backup plan is key. You have to have contingencies because life happens.
Life does happen. And Joe, I think a big part of financial planning is doing some of the initial math. In other words, how much do you need to save? And I think a lot of folks, even though the survey says you guys are calculating this, you're really not. We're going to show you how to calculate it.
Let's look at a quick example here. Now, we have a 40-year-old and a 60-year-old, because sometimes there's certain things that you want to calculate when you're creating a retirement plan. So I'll start with a 40-year-old. Let's say I want to spend $80,000 in my retirement, but I'm not going to retire tomorrow, so I have to inflate this $80,000 with a cost of living or an inflation adjustment, right? So let's just assume a 3% adjustment for inflation on that $80,000. Well, I would need $168,000 at my retirement date, so almost double, given that 3% inflation. So my fixed income sources, let's just assume that I'm married and my spouse and I, we have $50,000 Social Security benefit today. But once I retire, right, there's a cost of living with Social Security, and that would be around $82,000. So I'm going to be short 86 grand. That is going to be my shortfall. So what my planning is that I got to figure out what my nest egg is going to be to create $86,000 of additional income on top of my fixed income. Same example here for a 60-year-old. Same spending, $80,000, but they're retiring in a few years, so that inflation adjustment is only $93,000. They have $55,000 of fixed income, Social Security, maybe pension. So their shortfall is $38,000. Alan, this is the first step, right? You got to look at, if I'm not retiring for 20 or 30 years, or if I'm retiring in 5 years, it's still the same math.
Yeah, and then we look at something called the 4% rule, and that's simply taking a look at what you need in terms of your shortfall, multiply that by 25 or divide it by 4%, you get the same answer. That'll give you at least an idea of what your nest egg should be, Joe.
Yeah, so if I look at this, so again, the 40-year-old, $86,000 shortfall, you multiply $86,000 by 25, the 40-year-old's going to need $2 million roughly, $2.1 million. So if I take 4% of $2 million roughly, that gives me $86,000. That's the math. With a 60-year-old, the shortfall's $38,000, so you multiply 38,000 by 25, 950 grand, so they need roughly $1 million. So how do we get here? So let's assume the 40-year-old has 300 grand. Alan, what 40-year-old do you know that has 300,000 bucks?
Our example.
Yeah, he hangs out with some pretty cool 40-year-olds. All right, the 60-year-old, now they have double that, $600,000. So what's the savings? Let's just assume that you can get a 6% rate of return on your money, right? So the 40-year-old, if they can save $1,200 a month from age 40 to full retirement age, guess what? They're going to meet their goal. It's that easy, right? I mean, it's not that easy to save $1,200, but the math is. You just have to start with what your goal is, how much money that you want to spend, and then just back everything out. If you can't save $1,200, or if I'm 60, $2,000, then you can adjust and adapt and then refine each year as you get closer to these ages.